morning and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino, episode 36. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, let me silence my phone real quick. I'm just so busy, and it's just there's no doubt that I would be interrupted with so many calls. The money's just constantly banging my line. You know what I mean? Blowing me up like Rubi Rose's OnlyFans subscriber. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you know what to do. You're going to go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. You're going to like it. You're going to give it 5 stars. You're going to send it to a family member. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, and why is that? Well, because once again, I brought out another gem from the Vintage Tee collection. This is a Tasmanian Devil Detroit Red Wings shirt. And we're rocking this because the Red Wings just got Patrick Kane, and they look good again. And we love that. Also, complementing the Red Wings tee, we've got the red Cartier buffs on, the Gino the Ghost staple. We've got the pinky ring by St. Jules, the Tony Soprano Rolex, the diamonds on my neck, playing tennis like McIlroy. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing today. We do have some horrible news. Horrible news. I am a moron and forgot Gengar at my place, unfortunately. So my co-host will not be joining us from the couch today. We left Gengar in the Pokeball in the daycare center, unfortunately. He'll be back next week. I'm a little late today, so I'm a little flustered. I was stuck behind a fucking bike boy parade on Hollywood. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these, but it's basically a bunch of grown-ass men get together on their fucking bikes, be it a moped or like a 4-wheeler ATV bike or a Harley or whatever the fuck it is, and they just ride 12 miles an hour through Hollywood in a pack of like 80 of them. And why do they do this? Well, mainly to inconvenience me and others. Nobody gives a fuck that you have a bike and that you ride it. And if you want to drive around doing fucking doing wheelies, go do it in the hundreds of miles of desert all around California, dude. Go do it anywhere else. Keep that bullshit off the fucking streets. It already takes me 26 minutes to go 3.5 miles. Do you think I want to sit behind you while you fucking pop a wheelie and your other dickhead friend records it for your Insta? Like, dude, I swear to God, I almost got in a fucking accident on the way here. And I would have probably killed him because he's on a bike. And then I would have had to live with the guilt. And then I would have been like 30 minutes late to my podcast episode. You know? I'd be like, officer, I gotta go. I gotta film episode 36. But when I get back, we can kind of talk about what happened. I'll leave you a detailed report. Let the family members of this guy know that he unfortunately died because he's a fucking dickhead that wanted to show off on his bike. Anyway, it's been a great week. We are just right there on the road to 100K on Instagram. My following is snowballing. The algorithm is greased, and it's feed me. You understand? Feed me. Lil Wayne reference. Guys, the podcast takeover is just, we're entering stage 3, rolling into the new year. 2024 is going to be it's just going to be fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have one of those years, guys, and we're going to have it together, right? As we take over the podcasting charts, as we trample the Theo Vons and the Joe Rogans and the Caller Daddies, and we take the helm, we're going to do it together. Now, I'm going to make all the money, but we're going to be in it together. Do you understand? I'm drinking backyard brewed tea today. This is not a paid sponsor. This is a friend of mine's company, and it is a THC infused tea. Now, something you should know about me. First of all, it's fucking delicious. A. B. I don't smoke weed anymore. I used to smoke a lot of weed when I was younger. You know, high school, college, didn't really drink, mainly smoked weed. I had a traumatic, horrible weed experience that I think led to the end of weed for me. Basically, one time I took a dab. I don't know if you guys have ever taken a dab. You know, I grew up in a bit of a different weed era than many of you, maybe. We used to roll blunts, and I'm from Detroit, so we would roll really shitty weed in White Owl or Swishers blunts, pretty much exclusively. Or we would smoke out of a fucking apple or a water bottle with tin foil and fucking it was like a science experiment every time we would do it. And weed was illegal back then. So you had to like ride around like you had I felt like fucking Walter White in Breaking Bad with just like kilos in my car whenever I would be rolling like one blunt, right? So anyway, we used to smoke that weed, and back then that shit was like the shit, dude. We used to smoke like there's a shit called White Widow, and I swear to God, I thought it was like the strongest shit that ever existed. I'm like, this weed was, you know. And as I got older, um, weed got stronger and a lot stronger. And I got to college, and I started like finding myself getting like a little more paranoid, right? Well, one time I went to go pick up from this guy who I bought weed, this guy's apartment who I bought weed from. And he was like, "Yeah, dude." That's how he talked. And he's like, "Yo, bro, what's up, man? You ready to pick up?" Yeah. And you know, he like he's this fucking he's like 5'4", this dude from like West Michigan. And he had like a cookie tray out, and it looked like fucking like candy on the cookie tray. And I'm like, "Yo, what's that?" He's like, "Oh, bro, this is wax, dude." He's like, "Have you ever done a dab?" And I'm like, "What?" So he fucking brings out the dab machine, yeah, and then he brings out like a blowtorch, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing with that?" And then he like fucking breaks down the dab, the wax. You know, it's like I'm in fucking Wonka's candy factory, but and he puts it in the thing, and then he blowtorches the wax like he's welding something. And he goes, "And you just hit it." And so I've hit like, pipes and bowls and fucking bongs, and I've hit all that shit, just but like regular weed. So I'm like, yeah, sure, this probably can't be much different. So I hit the bong and I rip it like full, cloudy, chalky, milky white. And I just rip the whole thing. And I'm like holding it in my lungs because that's what you do when you hit a bong. And he's like, "Whoa, dude, that was a fucking rip, bro. I thought you've never taken a dab before." And I look at him like, "What?" And all of a sudden, I just start coughing like, like, like a fucking movie, like Cheech and Chong, dude. I'm just coughing, and I'm coughing so much that I'm like, "Oh my God, like, am I gonna pass out and die?" I could not believe how much I was coughing. I like went to the bathroom and I'm just like standing over the toilet, coughing, thinking I'm going to literally hack out an organ. And I finally stop after, I'm not exaggerating, maybe a minute of straight coughing. And I stand up and I look in the mirror, and my eyes are this red, as red as my Cartier lenses. And ooh, in reality, just like, you know, like in the fucking movies when like someone gets high and it's like, that happened to me. And I swear to God, I was so fucking high. I've never been that high. I should have gone to the hospital. I was I was trying to walk back to my apartment. I forgot the weed. I paid for the weed, forgot the weed, just left, walked out. Could not get, I was wandering around the apartment complex for like 20 minutes. Could not find my apartment. I like sat down. I mean, I was in shambles. You understand? I finally got back. I should have gone to the hospital. Anyway, ever since that day, anytime I smoked weed, I just was like hella paranoid and was just like not myself. And I'm clearly a very confident individual. I would find myself like less confident. And it was terrible. And I had to stop. And I finally fucking stopped smoking. And it's tough for me because, you know, I work in music. So like I'm in sessions with like all these rappers who just smoke hella weed. Also, everybody smokes weed now, not just rappers. But I happen to be in a lot of sessions with people that smoke weed. And I'm like, I got to turn down weed from like Wiz Khalifa and Quavo and all these people who are just like smoke. Oh my God, Quavo. Dude, one time I was in a session. I was in a session with Quavo, and it was like it was a it was like a decently sized studio. We were at East West, and this man was chiefing so many blunts, just chiefing backwoods, just chiefing. And it's getting like hella cloudy in the room. And it was my first time working with them, and I wasn't gonna be like, "Hey, bro, can you step outside?" You know, I don't want to be like the fucking dweeby white boy in the session. Like, excuse me, Quavarius, could you maybe step outside, please, while you're smoking? You're getting a lot of fumes into my. So I just kind of sat there and like, and I'm writing and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, I'm fucking high, dude. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, I'm like really high. So I'm like cooked, my boy. And I hadn't smoked or been high in years. And I'm in there with Quavo, like, I'm a mess. I'm fucking like, I'm like second guessing everything. I know my pen is elite. You understand? S tier. But I'm like, uh, in my fucking, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go grab some coffee real quick. Left, went to fucking Starbucks to get coffee. Just sat at Starbucks, like drinking fucking cold brew. Like I'm trying to sober up after like a DUI event. I'm like, fucking, you know what I mean? Anyway. But anyway, so the whole point of me saying this, there's weed in this, and it's only 5 milligrams of THC. So I don't think that's a lot. I don't really know. But stay tuned. We'll see. That might be me at the end of this fucking podcast. I might be in absolute shambles. What else happened this week? I got an air fryer. Holy fuck. Guys, if you don't have an air fryer, get one. Changed my life. Don't know why I waited so long. I mean, there's not like a long thing for me to say about this. Just get one. I mean, it's just incredible. I throw fucking, French fries in there. I throw in chicken. I throw in shawarma. I'm just like, I don't have to cook anything. I hate cooking. But now I don't even need to do that. I just throw it in a fucking air fryer and it works and it's great. It's amazing. Dude, get an air fryer. Okay. Absolute game changer. Let's talk about sports for a moment. So I'm from Detroit, if you guys haven't figured out yet. And I'm obviously a big Detroit sports fan. I'm unfortunately a fan of the Detroit Pistons, who are the worst team in maybe sports history. They've lost like 20 games in a row. They're horrible. So they're not worth mentioning, and I won't. But I'm going to talk about the Lions, who, as we know, are incredible. And they won again. Now, the reason I'm talking about the Lions winning again isn't to brag, even though I love bragging about the Lions being good now. It's because during the game last week, they played the New Orleans Saints, and we won. We won. And in the game, I'm watching it, and there's a play on the sidelines, and Alvin Kamara, who's a running back for the Saints, gets tackled into the sideline. And I'm watching this play happen, and I hear, oh my God. Like it sounds like someone's dying. And I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? And I look, and there's a sideline worker who holds the first down, the sticks on the sideline. And he's holding his leg. And I'm like, oh, that guy got Alvin Kamara got tackled into him, I guess, and he fell. And I'm like kind of looking. And then I'm like, oh, his leg is going the other way. Oh, and I'm not squeamish, but dude, oh my God, his leg was bent like fucking. And whenever you see an athlete get their leg broken like that, it's really fucked up. But when you see like a degular, middle-aged, out of shape guy that's just working the sideline get his fucking leg blown out, oh man, it was like a special kind of horrible. And I'm just looking at him like, oh, dude. And they didn't like realize what was happening. So they're just like staying on the sidelines. And this guy's just writhing in pain. And then they realize and they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like someone's down on the sideline, and they like cut away. And I just remember like back in the day, like whenever somebody got hurt when you're watching football, they used to just show the replay like over and over in like super slow-mo, just over and over and over again. They finally stopped doing that, thankfully. But this poor guy, man, it was like, and it took like, it was like a 15-minute break in the action. Like when a fucking player gets hurt, they bring out the cart right away, they get him out of there, they get back to the game. They like, I think they wanted to bring the cart out for this guy because he was just like a petty sideline worker. So the game is just like, everyone's just standing around for like 15 minutes. And it was terrible. So then that happened, and the guy's leg is just fucking destroyed. Like he like dislocated his knee and broke a fucking fibula. I don't know, whatever. He's chalk, dude. And I saw a tweet on my timeline yesterday, and it's from the New Orleans Saints, and it's like, Alvin Kamara has sent a signed jersey and signed game ball to the guy to help him wish him a speedy recovery. Oh, gee, thanks, dude. Thanks for the signed game ball. My knee exploded. Hey, thanks for getting tackled into my leg and shattering my mobility for the rest of my adult life. Thanks for the $200 signed jersey. Wow. Get well soon. Now, it's not Alvin Kamara's job to like pay for his surgery and shit, but like this dude's going to be out of work for a whole year. I'm hoping somebody pays for it. Hopefully the NFL covers it. Workman's comp or something. I got a fucking headache. I need to drink this weed tea. Okay. What else happened this week? Oh, update from the Rubi Rose OnlyFans psychopath. She posted another tweet that went viral. Of this guy just sending a collegiate essay worth of texts to her phone. His name is saved as Brandon Weird OF Fan, which is hilarious. Imagine dropping $60,000 on somebody and they save you in their phone as Brandon Weird OnlyFans Fan. These text messages are insanely troubling. I mean, it's troubling enough to spend $60,000 on somebody, but these texts are insane. I'm trying to like stop and read through these. My perfect little princess, you are stunning. You are my breath of fresh air in a world that is so dark and so cold. You are the sun to my thunderstorm, the spurt of luck in my day, the pot of lucky gold at the end of the rainbow. Dude, fucking stop, bro. Did he use ChatGPT for this? You are my everything in this life, and I wish nothing more to spend the rest of this life with you. I can spend all of my money and be homeless just to wake up every day knowing that you are happy. I can watch you have sexual actions with other men just to pleasure your sexual needs. All right, Adam 22. I can be your sissy boy and let you boss me around while I do whatever you demand of me in my sissy maid outfit. I mean, Jesus Christ, this guy is down horrendous, dude. What in the cuck is going on? Oh my God. I will send you 10 Bitcoin right now if you answer me. Guys, that's like $440,000. That is worth almost $400,000. All you have to do is respond to me with one word, Ruby. Please, I need your attention. Dude, Ruby, respond to him. What the fuck? Dude, I'll fucking respond to this sissy boy for 10 Bitcoin. I'll tell him to put a fucking maid outfit on for 10 Bitcoin. This is nuts. I mean, this is she needs a restraining order on this guy immediately. This is like really psycho behavior, and I'm being dead ass. I'm not even being funny anymore. This is some stalker serial killer shit. And then the conclusion of this message, she got her face tattooed on him. He got Rubi Rose's face tattooed on his leg. I have a surprise to show you my commitment. I know you'll love it. She doesn't respond to him. It is almost done. I can't wait to show you. 4 hours later. Surprise! What do you think? It took almost 3 hours. Dude. Oh my God. As if spending 90 bands on her wasn't enough. You got her face tatted on your knee. No, on your shin. Oh. Brandon Weird OF fan, what are you doing, bro? Why? And she didn't even respond. She posted it on her Twitter, and everyone's making fun of him. Brandon Weirdo F guy. Dude, he's down. I've never seen somebody down more horrendous than this gentleman. His poor meat. Oh, his poor meat, dude. It's just been beat into fucking submission, dude. He's just... And he probably gets off on this. Oh, he's going through the comments beating his meat. Oh, no. We're gonna stay tuned on this. I mean, this is just wildly flagrant. Speaking of wilding and speaking of OnlyFans, Hunter Biden. Now, you know I don't like to get political on this show, and I could give a fuck about Hunter Biden and what it means about Joe Biden and all the shit in Russia, and I don't fucking care. You know why? Because all these fucking politicians from the Republican side and the Democrat side are just stealing money from foreign adversaries and putting it in their pockets. And if you think otherwise, then you are a fucking idiot, okay? So anyway, we're not talking about that. Hunter Biden, he's got this tax evasion indictment for, doing what all these motherfuckers do, which is just tax evasion. And all the details came out. This dude spent $870,000 on prostitutes, sex club memberships, and porn, and took out $1.6 million from an ATM in a 3-year span. That's wild. This guy went on a bender like we've never seen. This is hilarious, dude. He spent almost $5 million between 2016 and 2019 while failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes, facing a max of 17 years. 17 years in prison, dude. Now, spoiler alert, he won't serve that because his dad's the fucking president, right? Not for long. He better hurry. He gets fucking convicted soon so his dad can pardon him. This is obviously a disaster for Joe and a threat to his 2024 run for re-election. The bigger threat to Joe's presidency is that he's 100 years old and senile. So that's a fucking mess. All right, let's laugh some more here. Yeah. So I talked about Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out last week, and the trailer dropped. And I watched the trailer and thought, oh, this is going to be the greatest game to ever come out. Because it is. It's going to be the greatest game to ever come out. It's going to consume everyone's fucking life. And it's going to change games forever, which we'll get into later. But, of course, some people found something to be outraged about, didn't they? Conservatives are saying that Grand Theft Auto 6 is woke. Apparently, Grand Theft Auto 6 is woke because one of the protagonists is a woman. Let's roll the clip.
The new Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer has dropped, and fans are concerned it will be woke. Game literally starts off with 2 women of color in prison.
Do you know why you're here?
Is this what anyone who plays this game wants?
People have already commented when they found out that the main character is going to be a single mom. They were like, oh boy.
Well, they needed more representation in video games. They've just been crying out for it for years.
Well, what I don't understand is why these companies do this, because they know that's not their target audience. That's not what their, viewership or usership wants. And they're going to face boycotts, but they continue to do it over and over again anyway. Like, what's the incentive? I've never quite understood. Like, just purely from a financial point of view, you would think, my users hate when I do this and they don't buy my game. I'm going to stop doing this.
Maybe they think the game is so good, the franchise is so good, it's going to sell no matter what, and they want to indoctrinate and give another perspective on life. Like, have you ever thought, hey, 15-year-old boy, have you ever thought what it was like to be a ex-convict single mother.
Oh, dude, Republican humor is terrible. Oh no, one of the main characters is a woman. How woke of them. A Hispanic woman in Miami? Dude, Republicans have been crying about Latinos and crime for decades. Now it's woke propaganda. I don't even understand what they're upset about. How is it woke that a woman is a main character? What are you fucking talking about? Women are half the population of the world. 50-50. What is woke about it? Do women not do crime? It's about a guy and a girl doing crime together. I don't know, Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know, every James Bond movie. I don't know, any what are you fucking talking about? What are we mad about? I can't even fathom. Republicans are mad that a woman is a main character in a video game about carjacking civilians and shooting police with rocket launchers and flying your car through the sky. What are you even... Do you understand how insane that is? Only white cis males can commit crime and kill police officers. I don't know what these companies are thinking doing stuff like this. All it's going to result in is boycotts. Hey, nobody's going to boycott Grand Theft Auto 6. This game's going to sell $10 billion in copies in a year. This is going to be the highest grossing game of all fucking time. Just because you're not going to buy it. And guess what? Grand Theft Auto doesn't give a fuck if you buy it. Yeah, Rockstar Games only has the most successful video game franchise of all time. I'm sure they care what these fucking 5 idiots at a podcast studio have to say about it. I mean, these people, we got grown-ass adults sitting in a fucking room with Lumix cameras around with $2,000 lenses, renting the room out, debating about the political wokeness and correctness of a video game that is about shooting and murdering civilians and police officers and growing a drug empire. And you're mad that one of the characters is a Latino woman in Miami. I'm a minority in Miami. When I'm in Miami, I'm a minority. It's not woke. It's accurate. And it doesn't even matter if it's accurate because it's a video game. It's not real. It's fiction. I think the T's working. I mean, dude, the word woke is dead. I don't want to fucking hear the word woke one more time. It's like swag or slay. We're off it, dude. We're done. Woke is done. The bar is so fucking low for woke. Woke was once used to describe like liberal extremism and cringe virtue signaling. Now it's used to describe anything that isn't white and heterosexual. Like, dude, oh, my fucking head hurts, bro. I mean, these motherfuckers called Barbie woke because it was targeted to women, and it's Barbie. Dude, I'm sorry the world does not revolve around cis white men. I don't get, do white men not want to play video games as hot Hispanic women and kill people? I don't think that the Grand Theft Auto users are going to be upset about it. Holy fucking shit, man. All right. Oh, man. I had a whole thing planned, and yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. Our main story. I'm going to talk about the death of the A&R in the music industry. Now, I've talked about this before, and I've had a few clips about it go viral because, that's what I do, right? I go viral. But I want to kind of do a deep dive because a lot of people don't really know what an A&R is, and they want more context on what A&Rs do today. So let's go over a brief history. So for those who don't know, A&R stands for Artist and Repertoire. And they were once responsible for scouting talent, which generally means going to shows back in the day. They'd go to shows and they would listen to people would bring in CDs that they would listen to, and they would scout that talent. And then their job then, after scouting talent, would be to develop that talent creatively, right? So what does that look like? Well, they would put together creative teams of songwriters and producers, and they would bring them into the studio, and they would pick records and create records and develop that artist, and develop the sound of that artist. Because a lot of times, you're not just making records, but sometimes with artists back in the day, you don't know what that sound's going to be. They're talented, you've heard them at live shows, but now you need to craft their sound. And you bring in certain people to do that. And once you identify that sound, you would create a body of work to then have the label put their resources behind and put out. And it was a great source of pride for the record labels to discover an unknown talent or a rising talent and then nurture and develop them into a star. And sometimes it takes a while. Like Bob Dylan. I talked about this before. It took him years before anything ever came of it. And there's countless examples of artists who were signed, and it just took them a while to get going. But the label believed in their product. They believed in the artists that they found and developed, and then you would see the results. And those artists would stand the test of time, generally, usually. Now, the music industry has shifted. And the main driver, obviously, is data and analytics. And the main thing that I think, though, in terms of the psyche of why the industry has changed, the music industry has become impatient. These labels are looking for instant payoff, and they're looking for instant numbers instead of nurturing and developing something unique and sustainable. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that happen from the top down. We're seeing it in the product. We're seeing it in the fans. We're seeing it in the artists. It's just top down dog shit, objectively, right? You still got great songs coming out, but that's because the songs are great. And there's very few artists who are excelling in this new model. And I think a lot of it has to do with this shift. We've seen that same shift happen in the ally to the artist, which is the A&R. The A&R is pretty much the artist's person, you know what I mean? That's supposed to be there through and through, putting records together in the studio with them. And it's just, we're not seeing that anymore. These A&Rs today, and I want to preface this by saying, again, there are some great A&Rs. And I'm fortunate to be able to work with a lot of them. But most of these motherfuckers are not qualified. They're not qualified. They do not know what the fuck they're doing. They do not know how to make records. They don't know how to develop artists. They don't know how to put people in a room. And they're essentially just letting publishers put these rooms together for them. Or they just think oh, this guy's got some hits. Let's put him in the room. They're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And it's because these A&Rs are less creatively motivated. And they're more data and analytically driven. And it's very frustrating as both a fan and somebody that works in this industry to just see, even in the 7 years that I've been in it, the shift. And I'm sure it's been even crazier in a longer span. But, again, I think a lot of it is I get it. There's so much music coming out and everything's moving so fast. But what labels are doing, in my opinion, we're seeing a lot of mid-curving. And I'm going to try to put this into words from my brain. But what mid-curving, the definition of mid-curving in trading, I'm a big trader, right? I trade NFTs, I trade stocks, I trade crypto, I trade all types of shit. In trading, there's a slang term called mid-curving, which is basically when you play it in the middle. It's when you overthink things, you know, instead of going all in on something because it's like, oh, this is so stupid, it's going to work, or because this is a no-brainer, and because I know it's a no-brainer, I'm going to bet it. I think this is a good play. Or I'm not really sure about this, so I'm going to just stay out. Instead of that, mid-curving is when you kind of do this half in, half out bullshit. You're timid, or you overthink it, like, this is, I don't know if this is, like, it makes sense, but like, you just overthink it. And because of that, you mid-curve it. Does that make sense? Record labels are mid-curving because instead of either A, taking their time to develop an artist and putting out a strong quality project that you've cultivated and that you've sunk resources in and that you've built, and putting that out and then actually pushing it with your resources, instead of doing that, or instead of just signing a viral artist and then while the iron's hot and the algorithm is juiced for them, instead of just putting out a bunch of music that they've created, that you can create, and juicing the algorithm and seeing what works and doing what you should do today with social media and you should do today on Spotify, which is just juice the fuck out of the algorithms. Put out music. All these indie artists that are blowing up are putting out music. And these labels have these artists who are hot right now and are the algorithm is fucking fiending for them. And they just mid-curve it. They don't put anything out. And they just do neither. They sign a viral artist that they only sign because they have something moving. They sign that artist, and then they refuse to put out a follow-up unless it pops on socials. And it needs to really pop on socials. They neither develop them or cultivate music to release or release it. They just do nothing. They sink resources into it. They set up dummy sessions with just random fucking people, or they take pitch songs from people. They do nothing. They mid-curve it. They play it safe. They ride the guaranteed profit of the hit that they signed, or they just write it off as a small, tiny loss on the PL. Record labels are scared to develop talent anymore because, oh no, we might invest money in resources that don't pay off immediately. We have to actually work. You're telling me I got to punch into my job and actually do stuff that I'm supposed to be qualified to do? They just clock in and they clock out. A lot of them. Because it's just data. It's just analytics. You can just, this is working. Let's sign it. Oh, we have to create quality product. They don't know how anymore. It's exhausting, dude. And these A&Rs, again, it's not their fault. They're just working they're collecting acorns from a rotten tree. Here's an example. I was working with an artist, a new artist, who just signed to a record label. This is a couple years ago. They had a huge song out. They brought me in. They're like, yo, we want you to help craft the sound and create the album, which I've done many times and had many success stories with other artists. I'm like, sick. Spent weeks in the studio, made some great fucking records working with the best in the world, the biggest producers in the world who I brought in a lot of my people, asked me who I wanted to work with. I brought them in. The A&R actually knew what they were doing. They had good taste. The records were hot. I'm like, oh, finally. This is great. This is a great situation. The A&Rs like knows what they're doing and they trust, us. And the label spent all this money. We were working in fucking Chalice, which is like an insane studio in LA to book. And nearly a year. And when it came time to put the music out, they didn't do it. Because they waited a fucking year The artist cooled off, and then when they tried to go viral again with their song, it didn't meet their standards of virality. So they just didn't put it out. They didn't put any of it out. And then they dropped her. And none of those songs can ever come out because they've all been teased on TikTok. And whenever an artist teases a song on TikTok, the record's dead. I can't go shop that record because it's already been shopped to TikTok. And no artist is going to cut a song that's already been teased by another artist. Will not do it. You effectively kill my work. You kill the record. Again, not the artist's fault. They have to do this per the label, but it kills my song. And it's fucking bullshit, right? Because I don't get paid for that. They haven't bought it. So you haven't paid me for it. You've teased it like it's yours and you own it. And you've killed the song, so now I can't put it out. The copyright is gone, and then you don't even fucking put it out. So now what is the song doing? It's sitting on a hard drive forever. It's gone. It doesn't exist. It's vaporware. And I'm left with this. Nothing. So they drop her, and she just starts making more music and putting it out. And guess what? She's blowing up. Because she's super talented and the songs are great. They're good. They're good songs. But she's just putting out stuff and it's working. And she's flooding the streets with content. These labels are so fucking stupid. You understand? They're mid-curving it. And there's countless examples like that. I'm not going to say names because I'm a man of class and dignity, but maron. The labels are mid-curving it. The A&R is dead, and the labels are mid-curving it. So, what's going to change? I don't know. I think things usually find themselves. I think what we're seeing is that labels are becoming more and more obsolete, and so as congruently, so are A&Rs. But again, the good ones will figure it out and they'll go somewhere else or they'll pick a different position or they'll just keep climbing and, they'll figure it out. Anyway, let's get into everyone's favorite segment here. I'm going to take one more sip of water or a sip of tea. This is good. This is fucking good. I'll tell you that much. 0 sugar. Oh, that's not true. 25 grams of sugar. Just kidding. Not healthy, but it is good. All right. Everyone's favorite segment. The FOHHOF. The Fuck Outta Here Hall of Fame. And guys, I posted a video last week of Andy Elliot, the fucking jack dude that was just screaming at you. And I got so many comments about this guy, which is basically like, oh my God, this guy's the worst. Oh my God, this guy has a video where he tells his coworker to take his shirt off. And I'm like, no, surely you're joking. What are you talking about? And no, people sent me this video. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. I think this might be the craziest Entrepreneur Bro video we've ever seen. Here it is.
Garrett, take your shirt off. Come on, Garrett. Take your shirt off, Garrett. Okay, now hold on. Now, Garrett's a killer. Am I right? Garrett, how old are you?
29.
Garrett, does this bother you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, doesn't bother you enough. If it did,
I
you
agree.
wouldn't have it. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I mean it. Now, come on, put your shirt down. We don't need this. You don't need this. You got kids?
Yes, sir. 2 sons.
Okay. This is the last time I want you to take your shirt off in front of a group of people and not be in the shape you want your children to be in.
What Andy did for me is he kept me accountable and he told me that I wasn't being my best self. And there's people in this world that can look at that and they can say, wow, he shouldn't do that to him. This is crazy. He's being mean. Or you could use that as a resource and you could tap into that limitless potential that you have inside of you and you can become a fucking animal.
Is this a scene from The Office? This is an HR violation. Right? This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Garrett, take your shirt off. I'm serious. Take it off, Garrett. Okay, Garrett, now take your pants off. Pull your dick out, Garrett. Pull out your dick. I'm serious. Show us how big your dick is, Garrett. There's no way that anybody can see that and think that that's sane, right? I had a lot of people defending him in my comments on that last video. Surely nobody could find anything about this video to defend, right? You call your employee on stage, you tell him to take his shirt off, and then you basically call him out of shape. You think your kids are proud of that body, Garrett? That is crazy. Garrett here isn't even in bad shape.
Garrett, take your shirt
This
off.
guy's in fine shape.
Come on, Garrett.
He's like 30.
Take your shirt
The guy next to him. Dude, look at the guy next to him.
off, Garrett. Okay, now hold on. Now, Garrett's a killer. Am I right? Garrett, how old are you?
29.
Garrett, does this bother you?
Oh, dude, the guy next to him is like, I don't like where this is headed. He's like, man, I hope it doesn't make me take my shirt off. We got to talk about what Andy's wearing here. Now, I made fun of Andy's shirt last week because it's an XXXSS size shirt. But these pants that he's wearing, these are jeggings. And he's wearing blue loafers with no socks. Andy, do me a favor. Take those capris off. Take those boat slippers off, Andy. Andy, how old are you? 45. And how many kids do you have, Andy? Andy, this is the last time I want you to do a motivational speech wearing your kids' pants. These jeans are a size 24. This is like Kohl's kids section pants. They're too tight. They're too tight. This poor guy next to him, dude. I think if he made this guy take his shirt off, he would have just shot him in the face with a gun. He would have just pulled out a gun and killed him. Just blasted him. And everybody would have. And then the end, they interview the guy. And he's praising him.
For me is he kept me accountable and he told me that I wasn't being my best self. And there's people in this world that can look at that and they can say, wow, he shouldn't do that to him. This is crazy. He's being mean. Or you could use that as a resource and you could tap into that limitless potential that you have inside of you and you can become a fucking animal.
This poor guy. Have some pride, Garrett. This is a cult, dude. I mean, we got to look into this, right? This is a cult. If toxic masculinity took human form, it would be Andy Elliot. Okay. And we got to talk about skinny jeans. Fellas, heart to heart here. Yeah. They're done. We're not wearing skinny jeans anymore. And we're not because like, oh, they're for women. No, that's not why I'm saying it. Skinnies are done. They're out of style. I used to wear them. Not anymore. I used to wear my A&Rs all the time. Not anymore. We're off skinnies. Okay? And we're certainly off jeggings. He looks like he's wearing his wife's pants. Oh, speaking of his wife is also fucking insane. Look at this clip from Jacqueline Elliot. Listen to this.
I have ladies that ask me all the time, hey, I feel guilty because I'm in business and I have my kids and I'm not spending time with them. I'm like, well, how much time are you giving them? I'm like, well, a couple hours. And I'm like, couple hours? I mean, that's freaking a lot of time. It really is. I give my kids 20 minutes. 20 minutes. My kids don't need more than 20 minutes. But in those 20 minutes, when I'm home, I'm a different woman every day for my kids. When I see them, we play Ring Around the Rosie on the outside. You know, we play, I throw them, I'll do things they don't expect me to do. I don't sit and I don't.
There's no fucking way that this is real. I can't even fucking believe this is real. These people are a parody of themselves. She's got to be in character, right? Dude, 20 minutes a day with your kids? I don't want to talk about somebody's parenting, right? I'm not going to judge parents. But we're not going to shame parents for spending time with their children just to say, I spend 20 minutes a day with my kids. 20 minutes a day is fucking... There's no way that this is a real clip, dude. I gotta... This is...
Every day for my kids. When I see them, we play Ring Around the Rosie on the outside. You know, we play...
Ring around the rosy. Ring around the rosy. Pocket full of posy. Ashes, ashes. All right, get the fuck out of mommy's face. I have a sales call in 20 minutes. $20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day with your children. Times that by 7, that's 140 minutes a week. Times that by 4, that's nearly 2 hours. 2 hours times 4, that's 8 hours a week. Stack that up over a year, that's 448 hours a week, or hours a year. 448 hours a year. 20 minutes? I don't spend any time with my kids. I make my kids spend 20 minutes with me. Making cold calls, flipping rental properties, closing deals. If you don't own 10 rental properties by the time you're in kindergarten, if you can own 10 rental homes by the time you're in 3rd grade, you can have generational wealth. If you can just buy 10 rental homes before you learn your ABCs, there's no way that this is a real video. I cannot believe that these two are married to each other. These poor kids. Oh my God. They gotta be ripped, right? Just a 3-year-old with a fucking 6-pack that benches more than me. Probably. I only give my kids 20 minutes. In between my cold plunge and my breathing exercise on the treadmill. Incredible stuff. I mean, that's... What a treat, huh? What a treat this show is for everybody, including myself. That is going to do it for our episode this week, guys. I want to thank you for listening to Good Luck. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you've downloaded it to your device so you can carry me with you everywhere. Send it to your friends and family. And if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and, in the comment section, just tell me your favorite part of the episode. I don't know, whatever the fuck juices the engagement. Just go fucking do that. Thanks again, guys. And until next week, as the world continues to just crumble beneath our feet, good night and good luck.
Good night and good luck. You smile and say goodbye to me, but I don't give a fuck. You hop in the Uber, off to your future. Good night and good luck. You try to play your cards with me, but I'm calling your bluff, 'cause it wasn't enough. Good night and good luck.